just when you thought power cuts could no longer frustrate you, some experts are warning that stage 8 power cuts could be on the horizon. This means 48 hours of no power within a 4-day rolling cycle. As businesses and the economy suffer the consequences of the ongoing blackouts, how are South Africans responding to the news? Let's go to our reporter Nqobile Madlala, who is on the ground, out and about, speaking to ordinary South Africans. Nqobile, it seems we are expected to accept 5 hours of load shedding every single day. What's the reaction from the people you're speaking to?
Well, Maseko, from the communities that we've spoken to, they've been very unhappy to accept that reality. And they're saying that this has had severe effect on their daily lives. They've even spoken about the fact that some of the times when you have load shedding, it makes it easier for the people that steal cables to basically cut those cables. At the same time, when the power comes back, there's the infrastructure that's burning. And so this is something that they're not willing to accept, because it's very difficult and it's also very expensive to live off things like gas and petrol and so on. But just to bring in the element where we have heard that students also are getting affected, I want to bring in the Secretary General of COSAS to give us an idea in terms of, in university, how are students coping with load shedding?
Thank you very much. Look, I'm dealing with high schools, not universities. Look, typical example, because of dealing with the scientific evidence, you can go to Dr. Villagas in Soweto. I think now it's a year. Kids not having electricity, and they can't receive their reports, they can't do their schoolwork. So where we are now, we need a solution. eNCA must come on board. eNCA must stop being arrogant, because kids are suffering on the ground. And you go to deep rural areas, kids they are burning. Candle lights are affecting them. So where we are now, we're saying eNCA must stop being arrogant, and the ANC government must take a decisive decisions against eNCA and leaders, because they're affecting the society and school at large. So where we are now, we don't know what to do anymore, because eNCA is abusing us and more than our relationships.
Let's talk about the kids that you're talking about. I mean, in high school level, you're worried about your exams and all sort of things. How do they prepare for exams when there's no electricity?
They're not prepared. They're not. I can tell you, you go to Dr. Villagas, the kids, they've not been learning because of eNCA. Then when you try to go and speak to them, they become arrogant. Maybe, I don't know, it's because of eNCA is led by minority group in our country. But if it was me as a black person, I can tell you today, hashtag Mama must fall in eNCA. But because of eNCA is led by a white person, we see everything, it's okay, and it's not. Kids are suffering. We can go to Dr. Villagas now. I can tell you, kids are not in class now because of such thing.
So then what is the solution to this? I mean, this is the reality. We are hearing even stage 8 is possible from experts. How do students go about, or pupils go about with their lives now going forward?
Look, I think our government must introduce solar systems in our schools so that the kids can get the education. Failing for that, we don't know. We are giving them the solutions they must implement now. But because we are led by ageist, as a young person, I'm raising solutions. They want to take me serious. But if there was somebody like them, they'll say, no, we must do it. But now, we're in crisis. So we need those solar systems.
All right. Thank you very much there for speaking to us. Well, you can hear there, Maseko, there is frustration all around. You can just hear from what he's saying. He feels that they're not being listened to, but he's saying that kids are suffering, they're not in schools, and the solution perhaps now is to bring in solar power.
All right, let's see, or rather, Nqobile Madlala in Johannesburg. Let's leave it there for now. Let's continue with our stories around blackouts in the midst of the rolling power cuts.